What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley. For those who are new here, hello and welcome. And for all of my returning subscribers, hey. So today is the 24th of February, which just is a few days shy of the 8-week mark until my final frost date here in Zone 7A, Central Ohio. I don't know how much zones actually matter to people, but I like to just share the information for those who would be curious as to where I am located on the zone chart anyways. So today we are going to be talking about all the things that I will be starting for this week. I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible. I probably won't be actually starting the seeds on this video with you guys, but if you want to see how I start my seeds, I have several other videos referencing soil methods, etc., etc. So I will leave a playlist up here so you can go and check those things out. But without further ado, let's just hop into all the varieties that I will be starting this week indoors for the 2024 garden. All right, so I first want to start with flowers because I have quite a few flowers that I need to get started. And I don't have these in any particular order, but I'll try to make it make sense in my brain. So first things first, I have calendula. This is the zeolites variety. This is a beautiful flower. I'm excited to be growing it again. In the past, I haven't grown nearly as many of these as I would like to. So the goal this year is to add more diverse colors and varieties. So this guy will be going in. This one here is another calendula. This is the Resina type. This one has a high resin. What is it? It's bursting with medicinal resin. Let's just read the packet. Perfect for salve and tea, but then it also attracts so many of those like bad pests in the garden, specifically aphids. The aphids will attach themselves to the stems of these flowers, and they work great as a trap plant is the word that I'm looking for. Anyways, another calendula type is a playtime mix. These are like moody reds and like oranges and just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous variety of calendula. Love growing these. So we have those 3 types of calendula that will be able to go out pretty early in the season, which is why we're starting them now. Then we have some nasturtium. So I have the Alaskan variegated, love these. I have some cherry rose jewel, love these, gorgeous. Nasturtiums are one of my favorite flowers to grow, not only because they're beautiful, but they are absolutely delicious. I don't too much care for the flowers themselves because something about that in my mind kind of gives me the ick, but the leaves are beautiful in salads. I love putting them in ramen, and it's just different. It's kind of got like a spicy flavor like an arugula. Next up here we have some Scabiosa pincushion flower. This is the Black Knight variety. Now I grew some of these last year. I did not do as well with my flowers last year as I would have liked to, but I was still very proud because I grew some different flower types that I've never grown before. These were one of them, and I definitely can say that I want to grow a lot more and allow a little bit more space for them to actually get a size that, you know, they can really shine, because last year I just felt like they were getting choked out by some other flowers. So I want to give them space and give them another go. So I'm really excited to grow these again. Now last year we had a little situation with these Cosmo. This is the Apricota Cosmo. So what I thought were my Cosmos last year ended up being a really tall weed that resembled a Cosmo in the foliage anyways. So hopefully this year we'll actually end up with some Cosmos, have some of this beautiful color. As you can see, like the color palette is like oranges, reds, yellows, like really rich tropical looking flowers is what I typically go for. So definitely want to grow more of that. Last year I had tons and tons of straw flower. They did absolutely beautiful in the garden. These were one of the flowers that really shined last year, from early on when I first put them out until even after a frost. Even after a frost. I don't know why my words are not blah, blah, blah. Can't get them out. Anyways, these were killer in the garden last year, so I'm excited to grow more of these. I'm probably going to end up with some volunteers of these, so I'm not going to sow as many of these, but I mean, we'll see how that ends up working out. Next up, we have a few type of hollyhocks, which this will be the first time that I'm starting them from seed, second time that I'm actually growing them in my garden. So first up, we have the Negra, which is just like a black hollyhock. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous flower. I'm really excited to be growing some of these. Next is the Outhouse variety. I hauled these with you guys, so you might remember seeing these already. And then next is the Watchman hollyhock, which is another rich, deep color. Love these. So these I actually plan to not put in the vegetable garden, but to put along the side of my house and maybe some up in the front garden. So you probably won't see just a ton of those in the back, but you'll definitely see them sprinkled throughout my property. And then lastly, we have a Snapdragon. This is the Orange Wonder. This one grows a little bit taller, so I'm kind of on the fence about where exactly I want to plant these, but I definitely wanted to get some Snapdragons going. And again, just that beautiful orange color is what drew me to these. So those are all the flowers that I will be starting this week. I, of course, have more flowers that I will be starting seed for in the future. But as for this week, this is what we will be starting. All right, next up, I just want to go over the herbs that we will be starting this week, which most of which are basils. So, of course, we want to get some holy basil growing. Last year, I did a really good job with holy basil, but I do want to kind of sprinkle it throughout the garden some more. So I will be growing more of that. We have a large leaf basil, which is great for pesto or tea. Simple syrups is something that I love to make from basil. So good. Then we have some dark opal basil, which is a little bit more ornate, but still really delicious. A little bit more on the spicy side. Let's see. I'm trying to get all the basils out of the way here. I knew I had one more, which is the Mamalo basil, which is a lettuce leaf type. I've never successfully grown this. I don't know why. I want to say this got caught up in a batch that I put out prematurely outside to like begin hardening off, and it got nipped by a freeze and wiped out, baby. Next up, we have the Zinger hibiscus, which is also known as Roselle or Jamaican tea. Really excited to be growing this. I will probably be growing these in like grow bags. I don't know. We'll see how that ends up happening. But I'm really excited to have some of this. Again, another one that got caught up in that first little nip of a frost when I was trying to harden things off. Anyways, so last year was the first year that I did not have any borage volunteers, so I will be getting more borage going out in my garden. This is something that volunteers so abundantly, so I have not had to start this from seed in a really long time, but I'm about 1,000% sure I'll probably just plug in maybe 3 or 4 plants and I will continue to have an abundance of borage in my garden. Next, we have some Mexican tarragon. Grew this last year. Did not eat any of it. I need to incorporate my herbs into some recipes. So if you have any good recipe ideas using tarragon, let me know down in the comment section below. Fennel. Last year I grew this for the first time from seed, and I want to say in general in my garden. Did really well. Did not incorporate it nearly as much as I thought that I would have. I definitely want to try it in some teas and maybe even making some like different salads and things using fennel. So we'll be growing that again. Marjoram I fell in love with, especially in chicken recipes. So definitely growing more of that. And then for the first time, I'm trying tarragon, which I assume will be really good with fish and chicken as well. So really excited to try that out. All right, so moving on to the actual vegetables. First things first, let's just quick get this out of the way. I'm only doing 2 different varieties of okra because I don't know, the past couple years I have not done so great with okra, so I'm going to give it another go, but I'm using some tried and true varieties, which of course is the Clemson Spineless, which is your basic old green okra, which I'm totally fine with. I love okra no matter what type, so growing something even that's just a basic everyday variety, sometimes it's just fine. You know where it's coming from, so it's all good. And then I have a few more seeds of the heavy hitter, which is also another like specific variety or similar variety to the Clemson Spineless. This is supposed to be an extremely prolific okra though. So the past few years I have been sowing these a little bit later in my seed starting season, I can say. But because they have not developed as quickly as I would like them to, I'm giving them a little bit earlier of a start in hopes that I'll be harvesting some good okra this year. All right, and now what we are all waiting for, which of course is tomatoes. So this year, let's see how we can go into this. So what I had in mind for this year was to definitely grow more tomatoes. That's number one. I wanted to incorporate a wider variety, even more than what I had last year. Last year, I used the cattle panel trellising system for the first time. It was absolutely amazing. However, one thing that I learned is that I could definitely probably put a few more plants in there since they are growing up on this wall, and I kind of kept them nicely pruned and everything like that. I can probably grow more plants per square foot given that they are growing vertically, number one, and number two, I did take the time to prune them quite frequently, at least my slicer types. My cherry tomatoes, I kind of let those babies go wild. Also the Romas, same thing. I kind of let those grow wild. I don't do just a whole lot of heavy pruning for those. But as for my slicers, I definitely make sure I prune those. So I think I want to grow more. We're going to see how that ends up working out. But we here for the varieties today. So let's just get into it. So the first things, tomato family, not quite tomatoes, but we still growing some. So I have both the Aunt Molly's ground cherry and the pineapple ground cherry. I don't notice a huge difference in flavor. So for this year, for the first time ever, I'm going to grow both of these just to see if there is a distinct flavor and kind of pick a favorite from there. Because I definitely don't need more than like, I would say like 2 or 3 of these plants, but I'm going to grow 4. I'm going to put 2 of each in separate beds. That way they don't get mixed up, and just try to compare the flavor, like I said. So that I'm really excited for. So we have our ground cherries out the way. Now let's talk cherry tomatoes. Let me make sure my stuff is organized here. So we have both cherry and Roma / saladettes. I don't have a Roma picked out. I might need to change that. Anyways, okay, so the yellow pear tomato is absolutely, it's not even a favorite. I won't say a favorite. I will say that the yellow pear is near and dear to my heart because it is one of the first cherry tomato types that I grew from seed, and it was so gratifying. It's always one of the first tomatoes to I hear my daughter. She's supposed to be napping. Anyways, it's always one of the first tomatoes to produce, to harvest. So for that, I will continue to grow this. It's not the best tomato, like I said. They are very sweet, very beautiful to put in salads and things like that. But it's just not the best cherry tomato in the world. But I will always and forever grow this. I did not grow any of these last year. Or at least I don't remember. I don't think I did. But I think it was due to the seed. I don't know. I think I might need to buy some more. Anyways, we'll be growing some of these. Another cherry tomato. These are all cherry tomatoes. So the next one is Sun Gold. These are delicious. Another one, tried and true variety. You can't go wrong. Very rich in flavor, very sweet, and just beautiful to look out as well. Next one is the Super Sweet 100. This is a hybrid, but it's just your basic red cherry tomato. I kind of like to grow a variety of shapes and sizes. I think there's a cat or something outside of my window here. Something's distracting me. Anyways, so just needed a red cherry tomato. Boom, bam, there you go. Next up, we have the Blueberries cherry tomato. I have grown this one also since the very first time I started growing things from seed. I will say this one is not my favorite, at least like just raw to put in salads, because it is a little bit more on the acidic side. However, I do find that I like growing these and making what is it called, like a when you roast them up and pack them with oil and garlic. What is that called? Anyways, that's how I like to use these. So I will continue to grow those as well. Now moving on to like a saladette, I guess, type, or grape, more like of a grape tomato. We have some Brad's Atomic Grape. I love these. These definitely have a more rich, smoky flavor. I like eating these raw. I like eating them cooked, sliced up in salads, whatever. So good. Definitely growing those again. Now, last year was just the second time that I grew the Pianalo del Vesuvio. This is a paste tomato variety. So the thing with this was the first year that I ever tried to grow it, it was not prolific at all. And its claims is to be extremely prolific and grow in these like beautiful clusters. At least, you know, that's what you can see here on the seed packet. The first year I grew these, that was not the case at all. However, last year, as I mentioned, I grew all of my tomatoes up on the cattle panel trellising wall system for the first time ever. And these babies were super prolific. And I love the flavors of these. I will say these grow to be like, you know, just like a saladette size, not super big, even though it is like aroma variety type. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know what this considers itself to be, but it is very good. It's supposed to be a long storing, crack resistant heirloom. So I will be growing these again this year. So now moving on to the slicer types. Let's talk about some varieties that I haven't grown, which is only one. I guess I'm rolling with stuff that is tried and true for me. If you guys want to see a full collection of all of my tomato seeds, let me know down in the comment section below. But as for this year, I'm sticking to what I know to be the truth. So I only have one tomato here that I've never grown before, which is the evergreen tomato, which my goal with this was just to have a different variety for coloring. So the evergreen tomato, let's see. This vigorous growing variety bears delicious fruit. Plants require a little space and effort. Excellent for salads, juicing, canning, and relish. So again, I've never grown this one before, so I don't have many things to say about it, but that is what the seed packet says. But it is just a green, beautiful tomato. Hopefully it's delicious. Now this one is one of my all-time favorite tomatoes, which is the Black Beauty. It's such a beautiful tomato, very prolific, and just so specific in flavor, very smoky, very rich, amazing to put on sandwiches, add them in salads, make salsa with them, etc. The things are endless. The variety is endless of what you can do with this, but it has that beautiful black skin, high in anthocyanins, which is supposed to be really healthy for us. So this guy will always and forever have a space in my garden, even though last year I believe I accidentally gave all of these little seedlings away to like friends and family. So I did not have this in my garden last year, but we ain't gonna let that happen again. Moving on, because my battery is getting low. We have the Cherokee Purple. Again, another one that is an heirloom, fan favorite. Everybody loves the Cherokee Purple. It's just a good tomato, so I will continue to grow those. Again, to add to the variety, I just needed a basic red, and this one is really prolific, delicious, nice, perfect round tomatoes. So we have the Creole tomato. Then next, this one I grew for the first time last year, and I fell in love immediately once I sliced this baby open. This is the orange jazz tomato. It was so meaty and full of flesh and not many seeds. And for that, I fell in love with it, and it's very sweet and just so good. So highly suggest this. You can see just how beautiful it is. It's kind of stripy, but a very delicious tomato. And then lastly, we have the Dr. White Cheese Yellow tomato, which I don't know how I ended up not growing this last year as well, but we will keep space for Dr. White Cheese in the future. So this is the last tomato. I feel like I had a lot more picked out, but what I'm thinking is I'll probably just do multiples of certain ones. Maybe that was my thinking when I did have all of these picked out, because I did that a little while ago. So that is the lineup for all the seeds that I will be beginning this week. Like I said, I'm probably not going to do the full process in this video because it's a lot of seeds that we just had to cover. So it's already a little lengthy. I hope that you guys enjoyed seeing all the varieties. I would love for you guys to share some varieties that maybe I didn't mention in this video that you highly suggest down in the comment section below. And yeah, I thank you guys again. So I wish you all health, wealth, and prosperity. Happy growing. Until the next time. Peace.